that Wimbledon match was such an aberration in that category. Joe served 70% first serves. It's the only time he's ever been over 60 against Roger. So obviously, the Federer return game gets in his head a little bit.
Yeah, and a 135K second serve to start out. That's where he can have problems. Second serve can be in the high 70s, and not a good guy to hit it to Roger Federer when he's hitting forehands.
How much will we see Tsonga coming forward? It's been a tactic he's used a lot through the first 4 rounds.
I think we're going to see it a lot tonight because, you know, his coach is Australian. You know, they stamp it on the passport, move forward and cover the line. So I think you're going to see a lot more moving forward, and you're going to even see him serving volley at least once, sometimes twice a game.
Didn't Rashid coach Leighton Hewitt?
He did.
How much did he come to the net?
Different project we got here.
I know. Coach Monfils, too. We don't see Gael at the net a lot.
Well, it's got to be adaptable.
More than you think. This is part of the reason Gael really improved his net game, and especially that backhand volley as he started to come into net more.
Is Roger a very good coach of net play there?
No, I think so.
15-30. So now a second serve. Early pressure for the Tsonga serve.
Yeah, he's missed 3 or 4 first serves. This is what Roger's going to feast on.
With the chip return if you're going to beat Federer on a hard court.
Darren, have you ever seen a player use that shot better, like a low chip return to set up his big forehand?
No, I don't think so. Tim Henman used to use it a little bit, but he would use it to get to net so the player wouldn't have a real good swing at a passing shot, but not to set up a forehand.
And 2 minutes into the match, Federer has 2 break points.
Already the early pattern. Make the first serve, win the point, miss the second serve, trouble.
Serve and volley, that's not something he's used very much in this tournament, and Federer with the quick break. A rough start for the Frenchman. Our IBM insights targeting the head-to-head and matchups against similar opponents over the years suggest that Tsonga needs to win more than 36% of his first serve return points. If he can do that, good likelihood of winning the set. First serve return. Roger's been serving extremely well.
Well, obviously Tsonga hasn't been playing the quality opponents that he's going to face like tonight from Federer, but he has been winning 35% of the first serve points throughout this tournament. Much tougher prospect to a guy that doesn't lose serve in the tournament.
Talking about like a depleted Kavcic, Richard Gasquet in the last round.
And Chris, if I can just add to those IBM insights, I stole a few stats off Ivan Lendl after his Murray match today, and he mentioned in Federer's last match against Milos Raonic that the rallies under 4 shots. Milos won 55% of those rallies against Federer. Anything beyond 4, Milos won 15%.
Didn't seem like even as high as 15.
30
Joe's not always the fastest starter in matches, is he, Brad?
No, I mean, and Roger, to me, the guy, he comes out of the tunnel, and he used to be 3-0 to the good, but I tell you, he's putting an early statement in this match. And Chris, I'm not sure there's a worse guy to get an early break behind a Roger, because then, you know, he relaxes and takes his game up, especially the way he takes care of serve.
Next person. Again, Federer. Federer leads 2-0.
Tsonga has to just take a deep breath, had to work his way into the set.
You know what I call those games? It's demoralizing when a guy just posts a minute and 22-second hold on you, and it just comes at you. Now I got to go back to work, already down a break.
$15. $30.
I believe Tsonga, because if I'm not mistaken, is the first French player to make back-to-back Masters in 30 years since Noah did it.
Years ago was the last French male to win a major. This is that anniversary for Noah at Roland Garros.
$40.
Tsonga has come the closest, of course, the final here 5 years ago. He probably is the only one in the current group with a chance of getting back to a final.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Chardy, the surprise Frenchman, beaten on this court a few hours ago by Murray.
Darren, one thing I've noticed is this from Roger Racide. Tsonga's hitting through every two-handed backhand. I'm not seeing him hitting one-handed slice or hitting one-handed backhands.
Well, he should leave that one-handed backhand in his golf bag. That's not a great shot, but he can work the slice a little more from this end. He has the breeze. I did speak to Roger before the match, and Roger was very adamant that Joe had to stretch Federer to the forehand side. He can't try and play him in one half of the court because Roger's hitting his backhand too well, and if he gets forehands in the middle of the court, he's going to make him punish. So he's got to take that backhand down the line.
Outs. Again, Tsonga.
Tsonga able to win a couple of quick points and gets on the board. Federer still up an early break.
Federer leads 2-1.
Federer has been very sharp at the start of matches at this Australian Open. In fact, Fed fan, who's no doubt up late or up early watching, kind of holding their breath because Roger hasn't had that kind of B game on any round yet at this Australian Open.
So he has the extra sweatsuit ironed in the closet in case he has to, change if something goes wrong in the first set.
Anxious Fed fan gets that maybe he'll have kind of a subpar match somewhere along the way.
But I have this eerie feeling, Chris, that he didn't play like any warm-up tournaments. That first 3-4 rounds was his warm-up tournament, and he's rounding into form, and he looks incredibly healthy and fresh.
Rounding into form, though, he came out against Davydenko, a potentially dangerous opponent in the second round. He was lights out from the first game.
Another shot we've seen a lot of him early in this tournament is free-flowing the one-handed backhand off of the first ball, not the probing slice. And he's willing to hit the down the line a lot more, which Paul Annacone has been encouraging him to do more of.
It's interesting. We've seen him hit that beautiful backhand, hit through it in London. Here in championships, indoor, low bouncing court. He often dials it in there, but you think this is the best you've seen him hit it on an outdoor hard court?
Absolutely. I feel like his backhand has improved dramatically over the last 6-7 years. Because he can drive it much better than when he was on top because he used the slice more often.
That's exactly what Darren was talking about, that redirect up the line. Rashid needs to see Joe play points like that.
I mean, how many times have you heard me say this? And I think the reason why Djokovic and Murray, they're going to go to the forehand. You must get Roger to the forehand and then to the backhand. I agree with that 100%.
Of course, if guys could hit redirect backhands up the line and hit the baseline with them, if it were that easy. Okay, so here's a break back opportunity for Tsonga as that backhand flies.
How about this stat? Joe Willie has hit 10 more backhand winners this tournament than Roger Federer. I would not have thought that. There's a good look at his camp.
So the second break point that he's faced since the first round dealt with pretty well.
It's amazing how relaxed he plays. And then you see Tsonga grimace a little bit there. I don't know what he did. Darren, did you see something?
Well, he just got doubled up a little bit because Federer went behind him. You see him slip slightly there. So may have just jagged his back slightly. Doesn't seem to be a real issue, though. He's back. The big thing to watch out for is Tsonga's game. It's the other thing that Rashid's really been working on is Joe has a habit of anything deep to the backhand falling off the shot. His weight's going backwards. So just watch the amount of times that he's driving through to that right leg and getting the weight through the ball. It's been a big thing about Rashid and Tsonga's backhand.
Another break point. Joe got the first serve back. Stepped around to make it a forehand.
You know what? He actually got himself in the position to be the aggressor. Normally, Roger, you know, is the aggressor on break points. I don't mind that attempt. Just got to put it in play, though. That's the shot. We're just not used to seeing him play first ball line and play it with such confidence. And this is played with margin of error. Look where he is inside the court. That's a ball 5 years ago for sure he would have taken on the forehand.
Federer said that he thinks Federer today would beat even the Federer.
I agree.
2008, 2007 when they were cleaning up. X Games Aspen begins Thursday. Everything gets started at 3 o'clock. The men's snowboard slopestyle eliminations. At 9, it's the snowmobile freestyle final. X Games Aspen Thursday on ESPN and live on the Watch ESPN app.
Chris, the more that Roger trusts his backhand and it keeps improving, that'll create, to me, more opportunity, and then he doesn't have to force opportunity.
Better hitting now from Tsonga.
That was outstanding hitting.
15 love.
And also, you know, Tsonga is unbelievably fast, but his defense sometimes can get him into trouble. And you have to play defense against Roger.
What are his defensive deficiencies?
30 love.
Well, the guy is unbelievably athletic, and he can. It's just a willingness to do it. I've seen him do it, but to me, he wants to play offense. He wants to play strike, and to me, sometimes on the first or second ball, he'll pull the trigger.
So low percentage attempts rather than just continuing to trust the
grind
legs
it out
and grind
sometimes when you need to.
We'll see if the new svelte physique leads him to trust the defense more.
Remember I said that about Kei Nishikori, that he, you know, his unwillingness to play defense.
Sweet.
That's a great hit. Falling away.
Again, Tsonga.
So Tsonga holds. How many more break opportunities will he see in this second?
Have your Warner with one again. We Europe and replace a major.
Federer is still unbroken. Tsonga 0 for 2 in that last service game, Brad. That really was the problem for Joe last year when he faced guys in the top 10. He had a 1-15 one-loss record. Just unable to convert the chances that he created against those top players. A 26% conversion.
Yeah, and how many of those matches did he not break?
3 of them. Beautiful cross-court backhand by Tsonga there.
Last year, if you get a tape, I'm telling you, Tsonga would have hit a one-handed pass there. And I saw him go to that. And remember, you know, he was experimenting with that a ton. This is a much more disciplined and trusting the swing.
That was a body serve there, Brad, but let's check out the serving pattern from Federer as he gets in a love 30 hole.
You know, throughout this entire tournament, he has worked the four corners. Very few body serves this entire tournament from Rod. Ooh, that's a missed opportunity. Let's look at the direction of Roger Federer's serve in this tournament. He works nothing on North Carolina old school offense, the 4 corners. They are evenly distributed all over the place, very few body serves. And my theory on the body serve is he doesn't have big enough pace to hurt guys on the body serve. That's why he works the 4 corners.
It was almost painful to watch Milos Raonic try to deal with the Federer serve. Just never had a clue.
No, this to me, Tsonga's already made much more of an impression on Roger Federer than young Milos did. I mean, he makes that cut right there. That's 540, and he actually should have made that. But when you play a guy that doesn't lose serve, I call those missed opportunities linger on the brain. And in this game was a love 30 where he missed that second serve. There, and that's the perfect play where they open him up to the forehand.
Deuce.
That's what the coach would be smiling about, and then he forces him to hit a pass on the run on the backhand.
Again, Federer having to work in a service game. It's been a rarity in this tournament.
That's first serve.
Ooh, got it.
Advantage Tsonga.
Didn't quite have the pace that second serve.
that was a controlled swing off his first serve where he didn't take that big of a cut. He just flexed it back.
Another break point. Aggressive but controlled by Tsonga, and he does get the break back for 3-all.
You know, in the last game, he over-amped up on a couple opportunities there. He just dialed back a little bit and stayed within himself, and he was rewarded.
You know, Roger's been shaking his head now for a couple of games. Even that 3-1 game up here, he wasn't happy with that return game he played in Tsonga's serve. Maybe not happy with the conditions, although similar conditions than what he's had the last couple of times he's played here, but maybe a little looser restrings. A few balls were getting away from him. But credit for Tsonga there.
What do you think, Darren, the concern is? The string tension?
Maybe, but just not feeling it like he has been the last two matches he's played on centre court. You see there's a few more unforced errors off the backhand side. He went the first 5 or 6 games with barely an error in the last 2 opponents he's played.
Would he send out for a restring now in this match?
I think he'll have plenty in his bag. Joe has his attention.
Now you have to seize on the opportunities you get when Federer dips a little bit, gives you a window. As an opponent, you have to grab it.
This is where you have to consolidate. You just can't give back. It'd be interesting how Roger responds after getting broken.
First service break of 2013. This being the only official event that he's played.
And I love this play. First ball attack, make Roger hit backhand pass.
$40. Nets for serve.
Early sign, though, that Joe is actually driving through every one of those backhands. I saw one of the practice sessions they had in Perth, and I saw that he just stuck him in one corner. Was hitting backhand after backhand, making sure the weight was on the front foot. I actually went off and had lunch and came back, and they were still doing the same thing.
Joe got in a little bit of trouble. His backhands were traveling down the middle of the court. That's what he has to avoid. Is keeping his backhands out of the middle, whether or not it's line or cross. I call that middle of the court is the dead zone. You hit it to Roger, he's going to make you move.
Tsonga holds 3 straight games, and for the first time, he's in front in this opening set. Talked about the weakness, Brad, in this department last year. Better 2013 for Tsonga.
Yeah, look at the opportunities when he's had them, that he's made them count, and 4% difference is a big number when you're returning and you play it over lots of sets.
Nice catch by the fan. Yeah, Federer hit over that backhand so much it jumped off the court on Tsonga.
Yeah, I think that he would be better served, Roger, to get more air on his backhand, to get it up on Tsonga a little bit instead of the drive backhands. That's only the second slice that we've seen. And that one right there, I think, Chris, he could have had more discipline and hit a two-hander.
He brought that little French flair thing into it last year when he was kind of coachless, and we were kind of amused by it. But you say put that away.
Yeah, I'm not crazy about that. He doesn't have the Murray slice where, you know, he's going to make it.
First double for Roger, and his first serve percentage in the early going down at 44.
He's going to need to be in the high 50s for sure. You know, you give a guy too many looks at the second, can change the complexion of the match.
Now, the complexion of the set has certainly changed since the first couple of games.
40-15.
That's long 4-all.
Again, Federer. Four games on.
Roger's been dialed in, the king of the night here, as he usually is at majors that feature night sessions. Patrick and Chris McHenry mentioning Murray hasn't played a night match yet, so the semifinal will be his first. Roger very used to these conditions. And Joe's having to get used to him right here. Challenge.
Tsonga is challenging the call on the left serve. The ball was called out.
And he has a practice court scheduled across from Hisense Arena at 8:45 tonight to get used to the lights.
Roger's walking, and he's right. Well, Andre Agassi used to say it's a lot easier to play day matches to go to a night than playing all night going to a day.
Why would Andre say that?
Well, you know, obviously at night the conditions are, obviously a lot slower. You go to a day, it could be hot, the whole sun, everything. And, he would have that happen at a few tournaments. You play 4 night matches to a day on the final. It makes a tricky turnaround. I think it's easier to make the adjustment to night.
Tsonga has to be careful, not too many loose points like that one to throw away the work he's done in this first set to get back on serve.
You always feel like just one little blink, and Roger's going to capitalize.
Return floated long, and then Tsonga slightly mishit a ball that just landed in.
I almost thought he might have stopped on that. He really looked at it for a long time because he knew he was in trouble. One thing I've noticed this tournament, I don't know if it's he's changed a little bit from watching Djokovic. Roger's going in a much more of a deep crouch on the return position to start out.
A foot fault called.
Watch him here.
There's a center foot fault.
Yeah.
That's a rarity. Oh, Federer made it tricky with that sliced half overhead.
Darren, did he flag an out ball there?
No, I actually think that was curling in, but Joe's really upset he didn't put this smash away. He didn't time his jump at all there. I think this one was curling in.
Oh, no way.
No, you think it was going long?
No, that was going way long. I think he caught himself with the racket about letting it go. But great shot.
He tried to slam dunk the smash and hit it too extreme an angle. Break point.
serve is off the line.
Deuce.
That's a gift. Now, if you're Tsonga, you have to convert and cash in on this game.
Advantage Tsonga.
So in that deuce court, you know, if we could get a close-up of his feet, he starts very close to the middle service line with that back foot. And see, when he slides, sometimes that's where at the start, that's where he can be vulnerable to a footfall.
He's very close there. Forceful volley by Tsonga, just deep enough. Digs out of a pressure game.
Tsonga leads 5 games.
Welcome back to the Australian Open 2013, presented by Franklin Templeton Investments.
Welcome back. A beautiful evening. Folks reclining, watching on the screen outside. 15,000 packed inside Rod Laver Arena. Seen a very good first 35 minutes. Federer was up the quick break. Tsonga has battled back. Do you think the body serve that we showed hasn't been a component? Could be a bigger weapon tonight against Tsonga?
You know, it's one of those things he doesn't use very often, but maybe that's a weakness of Tsonga where, you know, that's a play that he only uses against him.
That's a play he uses against lots of guys right there.
30 love.
Well, that's moved the chains forward. That's 1st and 10.
But Roger does use it a lot more often off the second serve.
I tell you, one positive sign that we can see for Tsonga, he's been at the net a lot. How often have we seen Roger Federer in the net in this match?
Only 5 times.
So he's taking that part away by coming forward much more often.
Federer.
5-all. Pressure swings back to Joe's side.
Love the footwork on this shot. I mean, on that low forehand volley, swinging. Thing of beauty.
You like the laces, too. You've said that a couple times.
As long as they're not yellow. Still prefer black there.
Okay, Chris. Anybody who can wear pink laces onto a tennis court and look good doing it has got some serious mojo.
He's got mojo and then some, and a little pink trim on the shirt, too. It's all tied together. Tsonga with a good pickup. It looks like he has spent some of the offseason really working hard at the net.
That was a sweet shoelaces pickup. And I love the commitment that he's making a play every time to the Federer backhand coming in.
Love.
But that little slice as he re-sliced Rogers' return. Federer will try to force a tiebreak.
Tsonga leads 6 games to 5.
Figure we see the tie break, maybe a couple tonight. Federer will try to send this first set to one right now.
From the 2-0 start, you know, you're thinking this could be a sprint set. I tell you, Joe Willie has really played some quality tennis the last 35 minutes.
There's a great example of the difference that Roger's really feeling is that offensive speed from Joe compared to the last two guys he's played, Raonic and Tomic on this court. They didn't have the speed that Joe has.
I also feel like those last few guys that he played there, and even if he didn't play anywhere near his level, he could find a way to beat those guys. Tonight, if he has a big dip in his level, this guy can capitalize, Tsonga. You know what he's saying to himself there into his box? Should have been more aggressive on that second serve return.
So Roger regains a little bit of first serve rhythm heading to the tiebreak. They played 7 between them head-to-head. Would it surprise you if I told you that Tsonga actually has the edge 4-3, even though Rogers had the clear edge overall head-to-head?
Yeah, that surprises me. But I feel like this is a more must tiebreaker for Tsonga.
Isn't it always when you face one of the big four?
Absolutely.
And these guys tend to know that.
Okay, we'll check it.
Conversation before the tiebreak starts.
What's just complaining about a sound coming from one of the speakers.
Maybe the music from the, the beer gardens.
Jay Garner says we'll check it out. Here we go.
Box.
Challenge of the overrule.
On the left serve, ball's got out.
I was going to say if that was in, that was his fastest serve of the night.
You knew the chip return was coming. You knew it on the first point of the tiebreak. BG, if you got to look at a second serve, he was going to do that.
You know what Roger did there? He probed like he was going to chip in charge. And I think that Tsonga looked up at him and gave that point because he stayed back.
Let's see how many first serves Federer can make in this breaker after a very subpar first set in that department. You get the feeling he's going to start finding the service spots more regularly, don't you?
Well, part of Joe's problem losing the top 10 guys, he's lost 7 straight breakers to top 10 players.
Wow, great stat. He would try not to be aware of that right now.
No, but numbers guy is aware of it.
Is there something that you could pinpoint why he's losing tiebreakers? I mean, obviously the guys in the top 10, some of those guys
lose
better
points.
players than he is.
Loose points. You know, you play a couple of loose points in the breaker, it can come back and bite you because some of these guys aren't given. To me, that's 3 loose points here in this tiebreaker.
Federer.
Nice.
3-2 Federer.
Another motion from Tsonga to his camp, hit the ball.
Yep. That's you're seeing a little signs of frustration in the pressure of this first set. This is where you got to keep it together. And you know who invented I call it keep it together? Roger Federer, because he always has that sense of calmness, the Nadal. This is what sets them apart.
I don't know if he invented it. There have been guys like Borg, Sampras, few other guys were calm in big moments.
Absolutely. He's the new generation of that. And then some.
Federer is challenging the call on the left center service line. The ball was cut out.
Joe's not sure. Good challenge. It just by a millimeter cut that center line.
He's been so much better this tournament with his challenges.
Federer.
And keeps it together, and he hits the lines by a millimeter.
At least Joe's taking it the right way. Big smile when he looked up to the screen. What can you do? He's now talking to the Federer camp.
Full house.
Oh, that's a big serve.
Another virtual must point for Joe.
5-3 Federer.
Still going to have to win a point in Federer's serve to win the tiebreak now. That's good hitting. Really needed that one.
I thought Roger was in great position to hit the wonderful backhand up the line, but then Tsonga stayed at home on the forehand
5-4
pass.
Federer.
First set now on Federer's racket.
Federer.
Two set points.
That's first serve.
Opportunity slips away for Tsonga. Federer's serving subpar most of the set. until he really needed it. Funny how that always happens.
In the heat of the night, in between the lines, on either side of the net, on the other side of the world, pressure finds a way to get free. Joe-Wilfried Tsonga, Roger Federer at the Australian Open.
Excellent 50-minute first set, decided in a tiebreak. Federer able to
Ready for play.
find the service box with enough first serves, and you can see it underneath that tennis shirt. He's gone to the dry fit black singlet, as Brad likes to call it, for warmth.
Yeah, because it's actually kind of like that little glove feeling. It's not like a loose fitting, you know, sleeveless.
No.
And Roger talked about how big his biceps were, you know.
He did?
He did with Jim Curry the other night. He said, I have the least intimidating left arm on the tour. Oh, look at that through the legs. He's probably mad he didn't give a ball kid a shot to catch that.
There's a category that comes into play here,
30 left.
in which among the top 10 all-time men in the category, 5 of the 10 are active players. Do you think that you can guess what the category might be? Federer sprints to a 40-love lead.
Prize money?
Well, no, that's
40 love.
obvious. That's the first category that comes to mind for you is prize money.
All-time wins.
Even more specific to the situation right here, Darren. Winning percentage of the match, yeah, winning the first set and going on to win the match.
Yes.
Now, among the top 10 all-time, don't bring it in yet, guys. Among the top 10 all-time, the big 4 in men's tennis right now are among the top 10. Who's the all-time leader in that department? Who's the all-time leader in best winning percentage after they take the first set at all events, not just majors?
Jeez, I'd have to say either. I might be tempted to say Rafa.
Me too.
He's close. Bjorn Borg is number 1 in that department.
God,
Djokovic is 2. Nadal 3. Connors, McEnroe. I'll show you after this point. Federer is number 6 in that department at measly 933.
I mean, put those numbers back up again. That is high red district right there.
Bjorn Borg is 524 and 25 was when he won the first set.
Who's 9 and 10?
Lendl 7, Murray 8.
Well, I played against a few of those guys. Those are
Put up number 10, guys. Juan Martín del Potro is in the top 10 all time when he wins the first set. You'll never get number 9. These guys have accomplished things. They'll put 1 major. There's other guys. Murray won 1. Obviously, multiple major winners in that group. There's a guy who's 9th all time when he wins the first set, but he doesn't have the resume to stack up with those guys. If you get this, BG, I'll fall over.
Oh, Rios.
No. This is tough, Darren.
40-15.
He's a guy who played very well on clay. It was tough to beat on clay. And he was a grinder, so when you got behind him, it was hard to work your way back in the match.
Sergi Bruguera.
Not the name we're looking for, but he was that. An American. Let's bring it in. The 9th best all time after winning the first set, Eddie Dibbs.
The bagel boy from Miami? That's a good number.
Pretty good. BG, by the way, career. Do you know your career percentage when you won the first set?
I bet I was just I bet I was an average guy.
Better than average, but not an
86%.
87%. You're God, the minutia. You have a headlock on the minutia in this world. I can't tell you. It's impressive. I looked up Cliffy's too.
Oh, nice.
That breaks the streak. Federer had won 12 straight points on his serve, including the tiebreak. So Joe's got to stop the freight train from building here early in the second set. Got to get into the service games.
It's big for him, Chris, early in the second set to reestablish that first set isn't the story of this match. I'm back in it, and I can win this match. Now, Darren, is that too big of an attempt on a first serve return there?
Well, I think so. You can go more to the middle of the court with that one, but he has to expect that Roger's going to go to that serve a lot. He loves that slider out wide on the forehand. Of course, playing a little bit quicker, and you get good benefit from that particular serve. I'd be more tempted to give Roger the one down the middle on the big points.
Tsonga just said, yep. That nasty twisting serve up the tee.
Little missed opportunity there. He looked a little disappointed in him.
Kid dropped it, yep. Now you prefer that return. It was aggressive, but he wasn't trying to belt it on the baseline.
That was controlled aggression and then making a guy hit a tough pass instead of going for that outright winner.
Again, up the tee. And frustration from Tsonga as Federer holds for 2-1 second set. New racket for Roger.
I love that, like, he's the only one of the guys that switch all their rackets on the ball change. Andre did it every single time on the new ball change. Roger sometimes will do it the game before, the game after, and the game on. So, you know, depending on what the new balls are, if he wants to return with him or serve with him. He's not always on the 7 and 9.
He doesn't wish to serve with new balls. So on a return game, he's fine to take a new string, but if a new racket, but if he has to serve, he will normally take it the game before.
Very few of those miss-hit backhands tonight.
Very few this whole tournament.
Net first serve.
I think 5 years ago he used to miss-hit a lot of backhands.
Pair of aces to close it out. 2-all. Brad, what's coming up on Wednesday night?
Wednesday Night Hoops on ESPN, at ACC doubleheader. Oh, how obvious is this? At 7 Eastern, Duke at Duke meets Miami, and at 9, the Yellow Jackets from Georgia Tech take on the Tar Heels from North Carolina. Wednesday Night Hoops, presented by Reese.
Reese's peanut butter cups. Not just Reese, the whole peanut butter cup.
I had one in my mouth, actually. Can you believe it? You handed me the card, and I got one in my mouth.
It's your last promo for the tournament. Double for Federer. His second. So Tsonga, a very tidy service game. Federer-like, very quick.
I think he's reestablished himself mentally that he can still get back in this match and win this match.
You've seen from Tsonga, though, in the first 4 games what you needed to see after losing the tiebreak.
Because I was kind of expecting a dip and trouble.
The net has been the domain of Tsonga tonight. Federer has not been up
15
that much, although he is coming up more, using it more now than he did early in the match.
He's opportunistic when he's doing it, and he's not forcing opportunities.
Lost his footing.
30-15.
Checking the IBM insights. That's the number of first serve return points, way below the target. He was lucky to be in a tiebreak given that. On the line and then hit wildly by Tsonga.
But you know, those numbers are the numbers
40-15.
Roger's been doing this entire tournament. He's been winning, I believe, around 84% of his first serve points the entire tournament. What's he do? Like 83%. That's how you get away with winning a set, not serving that good a percentage. But when you make them, you win the points.
There's another one.
Again, Federer.
Quick service games. Federer back in front. You see some of the folks out there bundled up. Almost every night it dips down to the 50s. It's been kind of sweatshirt weather here.
At least the last 2 matches, I've gone to the Roger's got the singlet. I've gone to the black thermal T-shirt, long sleeve.
Got chilly down there.
Yes. But what's it down there now, Roger? I mean, Darren.
I would like to be Roger for a day.
Yeah.
No, it's rather chilly.
30 love.
And where's the breeze going? Is Tsonga serving with the breeze now?
Yeah, it's very slight. It's not too much to speak of at all, and both players not having too much trouble at the other end of the court, so it's really not playing a big part in this match.
40 love.
Really impressed with the way that Joe started this second set.
Speaking of the weather, you guys seen the forecast for the coming days?
You know what? If Andre was seeing the weather tomorrow, he'd have a little smile. He would say it's proper temperature tomorrow.
Thursday,
It's going to be
99.
He'd say, well, where's 105? That's proper temperature. Now we're going to test the wills of the players. And I think that gives Sloane Stephens an opportunity tomorrow.
Why, Brad?
Well, Azarenka once, here a few years ago had the heat stroke, and she's had some problems in New York. And I think that, if it does enter in her mind about the heat, could make things interesting. And I also think that it's good for Sloane that she doesn't have the day off to think about it.
Huge forehand.
But Chris, I look up right away on the stats, and that target number, it's much worse in the second set when Roger's making that first serve.
Well, when he's made the first serve, he's won 10 of 11.
So that means that when you get to look like here, this to me is a must point when you get looks at second serves.
Stays on Federer's side.
15-30.
Do you think Tsonga feels that? I mean, should an opponent feel, as soon as the guy misses the first serve, put that kind of pressure on yourself to say, I got to win this point because I can't win his first serve points?
Well, you want to play it the right way. He took a good shot without going 2 lines there. He's stretching the neck a little bit. You want to at least take a cut.
Net for serve.
One thing you've learned when you watch these guys, they don't give it to you. You have to beat them.
Now we'll look at a second serve and a 15-30 lead for Tsonga. And he knew the importance of that point, that miss, and a routine backhand.
Now that one, if you're the coach and you go back and watch the tape, you scratch your head. That was a defensive second serve return off of the weakest second serve that Roger's hit in this match.
And Joe's not happy with the cameras all clicking as he goes to make those backhands as well. Just put him off slightly, just snapped him a bit of a look.
That miss gives Tsonga
30-40.
a break point. Real opening here. You guard against the wide serve.
I camped 1 foot in the alley, make him go middle.
He's not. Misses by Federer. Tsonga digs in. Excellent work on the break point. He's in front 4-3.
Tsonga leads 4 games to 3.
These two beautiful retractable roofs in Australia. They've been shut for what, a half hour? The entire tournament? Friday maybe?
It was in that Keys Kerber match. It closed for about 4 games, and that's it. We weren't closed for heat. And it's been very mild weather this entire tournament, except for 1 day.
Thank you.
Can Tsonga stretch the lead now? He's been dominant in his service games in the second. Well, the Federer forehand, one of the great weapons ever in this game, has gone awry a bit, Brad. That error on top of 3 forehand misses in the previous game when he was broken.
And no doubt, and he's won 1 point this set on Tsonga's serve, and that 1 point Tsonga lost, he missed an easy forehand. That's good tennis.
Didn't try to hammer it cross court, got it down the middle, but with great depth.
You know, the big number 2 for me that jumped out when I looked at the numbers, my target number was 4 breaks for him to potentially, he had to have to win this match, and he's got 2 of them. You know, that makes an impression on Roger Federer when you can break his serve.
Nobody had in the event coming in, of course.
That's the 2nd time he's been called for a foot fault.
That's long again. It's all looking for Joe Willie. His shot's dropping just an inch or 2 inside the lines.
You know, the amazing thing, so Roger, when he got around on that is great defense. The person behind Tsonga, the middle service person, the only thing that he possibly can call is a middle service foot fault. That's the only line that he's covering right now.
Yeah, Tsonga.
The table is being turned on Roger. So many sets in this event where guys struggle to win a couple of points on his serve. Now Tsonga stretches it to 5-3, still having only lost 1 point in the set. 16 of 17 in his service games.
And maybe this is a game, Chris, you take a couple of shots, you know, try to somehow sneak a break to get to serving to the next set. I kind of like how he's telling himself, like when he does something positive, or like that was no, he didn't like the 2 chips in a row. The good Joe, the bad Joe.
That was good, Joe.
That's a lay Joe.
15-all.
Joe's feeling it now.
That's a great quality cut.
15-30.
That's aggressive with purpose.
Boy, Tsonga is flying around the court. He is just pumped full of adrenaline right now.
There's no doubt, and he's kind of letting you know. He's like a poker player. He's letting you know his hand and his emotions.
That was a great example there of Federer second-guessing himself because he was going to take that as a swinging volley, stopped in his tracks because of the speed of Joe.
It was a swinging volley.
40-30.
That is a thing of beauty.
So Tsonga will serve to level the match at a set apiece.
Tsonga leads 5 games to 4.
Strong stuff from Tsonga. Could have been deflated and down, lost the first set in the tiebreak, but BG, although looking for the dip, we didn't see it. He came out strong, got the break, and now, after having lost just the 1 point on his serve, the entire set needs to win 4 more.
This is what I put to the new team. This is where we saw like maybe the dip in his game. This is what a coach brings, and working on something more stability.
Spoken like a coach.
15 love.
Tsonga loved the time when he didn't have a coach. He thought it was free-flowing. He was more, you know, improvisational out there, having good times.
And then he was maxed out, Joe. He wasn't going any further.
Just missed it. Another beautifully constructed point by Tsonga.
I tell you, he's handled some low volleys exquisitely. And you know what I like? He stuck to line. Said, you're going to pass me, go cross. He took that away from him.
Roger Federer, can he go an entire set winning 1 point and the other guys serve? Tsonga, 3 set points.
6-13.
Tsonga strong closing to punctuate an impressive set. One set all in the quarterfinals in Ron Laver Arena. It'd be hard to imagine an easier passage, with all due respect to Jeremy Chardy there, for Andy Murray into the semifinals of a major. Chardy, the surprise quarterfinalist. Great run to get here, but after the first set, no match for Murray. He was flying around the court today.
Andy Murray took advantage of an opportunity. He beat two depleted French guys in a row where he took out Simone, and Chardy just looked flat today to a lot of matches, singles and doubles, and Murray was feeling it. He was in no mood to make this any long match, and he was all over it.
Even if the French resistance was depleted, I think this had more to do with Murray. This is by far the best he's played. When he played Simone, he told me he couldn't get a rhythm. It was a funky match because the other guy really couldn't run. This is the Murray you want to see heading to the semifinals, though.
Also, this was a little bit of payback for Cincinnati, you know, where Andy was flat that day. But today, this always looked like it was going to be 3 and out, and this was closing time today for Chardy.
And so Murray awaits the winner, of course, in the next round. He actually is one of the few guys on the planet that has a head-to-head edge against Federer.
10-9?
10-9. They met in some big matches last summer, as you might recall.
Yeah. Yeah, Roger got him at the World Championships. They closed it from 10-8 to 10-9.
We're not putting, by the way, Roger into the semifinals. We just thought we'd mention it because, you know, he would still be the favorite in this match.
Tells me Lendl and Andy Murray would be a little bit chipper. He lost the first time to Tsonga down here. He's owned him.
7 in a row.
Yeah, he's owned him.
Joe took a little break after that set.
Actually, I think that it was the second time. I was coaching Andy Murray when he played him the first time, I believe, in Metz. So that was the second time that he played him.
Third set.
And he thumped him pretty good the first time they played him. It's a very good matchup for him, potentially. But lots of work to be done here.
So in that second set, a game in which Federer was broken, he made 2 first serves in the game and then missed the 3 forehands, and that was all that Joe needed. Some superb serving from his end.
I also believe that, you know, Tsonga did a little better on the, you know, first serve of Roger Federer and much better on the second serve.
Also really interesting to see when Joe went off the court, Roger got out of his chair and came to his side of the court as a normal timeout would, bouncing around and trying to keep warm because conditions have really cooled down.
Was that a pit stop or did he change gear?
Like a pit stop.
We need no verification on that.
40 love.
It's not very often you see Roger Federer leave the court so early in a match. We're only, you know, 2 sets in. It was pretty quick.
Joe left the court. Roger stayed.
I think we've seen more mishits tonight from Federer than we have the entire tournament.
I was just going to say, he went entire matches without shanking a forehand like that when he was just dialed in against Davydenko and Tomic.
Well, he's faced more power from the ground than he has against any other player than he's seeing from Tsonga tonight.
Federer.
If you joined it, it was a very fast start for Federer. He broke Tsonga in his first service game, grabbed a 2-love lead.
He got that early break, and you thought maybe he'd run away with it, but Tsonga got himself right back into it. And this was a huge swinging forehand volley in the tiebreaker.
In the second set, no dip from Tsonga. That was huge. He came out strong, dominant serving games for him. That was the break, one of those forehand misses.
3 forehand errors in that game to break, and Tsonga took advantage. Look at the athletic Joe.
But again, Tsonga cannot have one of those dips right here. All the work they did in the second
I get the feeling, you know, it's drifting over my shoulder. I'm feeling an early break in this set for Roger. Just have this feeling. It drifted over the left shoulder.
What gives you the feeling?
I just have this sense that there's going to be a dip from Tsonga here early, especially after that high of winning that second set the way he did. And if there is, Roger's going to take advantage and reestablish this match. That's all it takes.
Already lost more points in this game on serve than he did the entire second set.
And Darren, you think, I still get the feeling that potentially on one of these second serves, you think Roger's going to do a little chip charge?
Yeah, that option is definitely there for him. This is a surprise start to this third set, considering how hard he worked in the early games of the second.
You can see Roger Rashid, Darren. Any coach would know you've got to guard against the dip. He knows this guy well.
Exactly.
Trying to encourage him.
Roger was on that, just the pace of that serve, 134. That's beautiful.
Federer not really forceful with the return, and he was behind from then on.
Well, you know, he actually hit a decent return, but the downside when you run around a forehand on the ad court, it takes you outside the doubles alley, and that's what Joe hurt him with that first ball line.
So I mean, I thought you told me when you run around, hit a forehand return, it better be deep and good.
On the ad side, it's the much tougher side to do it for a right-hander. Ball kid struggling on his flicks tonight.
The chip charge. The Pollyanna Cone chip and charge, BG.
We just asked Darren if it was going to be coming. I was actually surprised he didn't do it on the fifth 30 point, where maybe the opportunity was there. That play, I feel, is there against Joe Willie.
Now the break point is there too. Little bit of a wobble to fall behind low 30 in the game. Little break instinct was right, Brad.
It was a little bit of the breeze that came into our booth, that heavy air conditioning here. It's that left shoulder breeze. And he had the same kind of a game in that first set. He got broken early.
Yep. He did get the break back eventually in the first set. Now he's going to have to try to work hard again.
I'm not feeling that this set. This is where Roger goes to work now. And Darren, to me, this is the time where Joe Willie's got to guard from like that. I always feel like he's capable of one of those 3-4 game dips. He's got to go to work here, and you trust his legs.
That's what you're talking about. He gets a little impatient.
He starts forcing, and then he can go on one of these periods. I call it the 7-minute dip, or 3 to 5 games can go on him.
Let's change rackets. New racket, nice return.
30-15.
And Joe Willie doesn't switch like on the ball chains like a lot of these guys do, right, Darren?
No, he just changes when he feels it's time for a change.
Big man scrambling over there. Excellent defensive work by Tsonga.
He's fast. I mean, for a guy his size, he was maybe 220, maybe he's 205. I mean, he can cover a lot of court. It's just not his favorite thing. He wants to be offense, but he can cover some tracks.
Quickly. Tsonga is challenging the call on the right baseline.
There was no out call. He was pretty confident. You better be at 30-all.
Jake Garner, the umpire. I'm feeling like that might have been a line clipper. No.
So here is an opportunity for Tsonga to defy his pattern, get right back on track, back on serve.
Wow, from 30 love, an opportunity.
Now this time Federer can't stretch the lead. Misfired a couple of times, and Tsonga back on serve.
Federer leads 2-1.
Here's the featured matches presented by Franklin Templeton Investments. Notice that we've shifted these matches over from ESPN2, our normal home for Grand Slam tennis, to ESPN. So Djokovic Ferrer, Thursday, same time, 3:30 a.m. Eastern time, 12:30 on the West Coast, but over on ESPN. That semifinal. Murray against the winner, also on ESPN. That's Friday, same time slot, and both finals. The women's Saturday at 3 a.m., the men's Sunday at 3 a.m., also on ESPN.
Well, we should give a little love to Jason Bernstein, their program director, just stepping up and putting us over on the main draw.
I always give Jason props. I'm not sure that was a unilateral decision, but just so viewers know, over on ESPN, not ESPN2, for the semis and finals.
And Chris, you're working with two guys that absolutely loved their coaching jobs, but I'm not sure that we loved our coaching jobs as much as Roger Rashid does. That positive energy that he brings to any coaching job, and I think that feeds off Joe as well, and the fact that he's kept a real positive attitude here.
That's a good point, Darren. He has been a little different. But it was also a different side of Federer in that last game. You were very surprised that he misfired when he could have had a big lead.
Well, I just want to add one thing on what Darren said. And I felt like what was missing in Joe's game, he didn't have somebody like that to help him out in these situations. When he would get down, this is where things would get away from him. Now he's got that voice in his box that's positive. Get back to work, buddy. I'm going to make you suffer in the gym, too.
You can see and you can hear that Roger's just calling out in between points because he knows this is a crucial time for him, and he was doing it at 2-love, 30-love that Federer when Federer had that lead, just trying to keep his spirits up.
Just because he's gotten back on serve doesn't mean Tsonga can afford another dip.
Net for serve. Please.
That little probing shot. I actually thought that Roger was going to do the delayed come in, and then Tsonga kind of comes in on the terms that he really didn't want to. Didn't work to make that a forehand or a two-handed backhand.
Wow. Put it on a dime in the corner.
Thought when he hit that he might have, because he mishit it a little bit, but boy, did this find the corner.
Yeah, this wasn't the cleanest hit. Just dipping.
God, that's beautiful. I mean, little miss hit, but finds the corner. That's a great feeling. You're like, oh, meant it. Also, too, Chris, on that miss-hit winner, that's where, like, from the poly strings that the pros are playing with, that's where, the ball stays in, or before when you were playing with nylon or gut strings, it would fly on you.
You can also see the difference in the footwork on the forehand compared to the backhand on Joe. On the forehand, he takes those little steps to get in position, and on the backhand, sometimes he takes that one big step.
Do you call that more of a lunging step?
Mm-hmm.
I'm really surprised that Roger didn't come in on that return.
Little change of tactics here from Federer, just trying to lock down the backhand of Tsonga.
You feel like he's going to win that exchange 3/4 of the time, Darren?
Yeah, that's where it's really important for Joe to be confident and keep taking that backhand down the line so he can get a forehand on the next shot.
Joe's making it tough on himself in this game. The first serves dipped a little bit. In the set, he's only made 6 out of 17. needs one right now.
Second serve points won this set.
Not good. 27%. Federer a chance to reclaim the momentum. Got it.
That was an absolute frozen rope. 2-iron. This is just nailed.
Nobody hits 2 irons anymore, Brad.
That's that club doesn't exist.
And advantage Tsonga.
We have the rescue clubs.
And that there was his biggest serve of the match. 135.5, 218 Ks.
Big moment for Tsonga to step up. Federer was about to claim a 3-1 lead. Tsonga saves the break point. 2-all. This is over on Hisense right now. Andy Murray. This is the second biggest stadium. It's out of business for singles matches. And Andy played an hour 51 in the quarters against Chardy. But we mentioned he hasn't played at night yet. So he wants to get a look under the lights over at Hisense, getting ready for the semifinal.
You know, obviously Hisense plays different, but you can see Coach Lendl, let's simulate playing exactly the same time we're going to be playing. And he's probably saying, that's probably a light shoot around. That was like not even playing 9 holes today. Come on, let's get in a good practice.
Somebody in the camp scouting this match. Normally that would be what
Danny.
Coach would do.
Yeah, I'm sure the coach is, assistant coach is over there. Because who's he hitting with, the Adidas guy?
More than likely, but also interesting, this match started at 7:30, but the sun is still up and the sun doesn't drop until about 8:30. So waiting till it became dark and they can go out and test the lights.
Not up.
Didn't get there. The details in preparation. You like that Murray's thinking.
Absolutely. Attention to detail, because if you haven't hit, you know, and if you hit it, like Darren said, you hit it like 7:30, it's different than being 8:39 when it's dark.
Of course, Yvonne, but it's 9:30 now. It's getting near his bedtime. He's in bed by about 10 usually. So he may go straight from the practice court, get tucked in.
He got beat by a 14-year-old on the golf course yesterday as well. Ryan Ruffles. It's the son of ex-Davis Cup player for Australia, Ray Ruffles.
I hear he's a superstar potential.
Linda will take his beatings on the golf course if his guy wins on Sunday. Roger, right back to work, holds it love. Tsonga's turn at 2-3. This is the last week of summer vacation for the kids in Australia. Back to school Tuesday. Australia Day is public holiday, is Monday, right? So Australia Day itself is Saturday.
Is this the first time ever the Australia Day is after the tournament? Because we usually
Saturday.
Oh, okay, we got to get some fireworks during the tournament.
Because it falls on a Saturday, they're taking the Monday holiday.
Okay, we'll get some fireworks. That's nice. You just sneak
Saturday
the holiday.
night, yeah.
The Monday, Saturday to Monday.
Love it.
A few more first ball errors have creeped into Joe's game this set.
That's the first time we've heard
30,
Roger
30.
really mutter any sort of frustration to himself, because I think that inside-out forehand caught the two lines right in the corner.
Did, Darren. Excellent return by Federer to get in the point.
What language was it? Sometimes is it switch German, English?
One of those.
That's good work.
So I felt like, I don't know about you, Darren, but I felt like that point there was 2 different opportunities at least for Roger to come in on the backhand, maybe on the return and on the first ball. And I think that's what's getting him hurt.
And also that last backhand was straight down the middle of the court, a little bit too short. He's had pretty good success when he's been hammering that cross court and pinning Joe to that side of the court.
Oh, beauty. Let's take a look at inside the point. The aggressive hitting from Joe Tsonga, keeping Roger Federer in trouble. Starts out with a second serve where Roger runs around but doesn't do enough with it, and Tsonga takes the established of this point. He's on the offense, and Roger Federer is on the defense. That's not where he wants to be. Got a great little lob in, but once again, he goes right back to work. Good deep slice, and then see ya. We haven't had a lot of in this match, Chris. We haven't had a lot of 10, 12 ball rallies, and I think those longer rallies really favor Roger.
Because Joe was able to hold so easily in the second set, he got it back to a set apiece pretty economically. That set only took 32 minutes. On the line.
I'll be stunned tonight, Chris, on a cool night if fitness kind of becomes a factor, because I think we could be less than a 3.5 hour long 5-set match at the pace they're playing at now. There goes my theory out the window. They've had 10 points of 10 shots or less, and Tsonga's won 9 of them.
10 strokes or more.
Yeah.
Yeah. He tried the Federer trick. It didn't work too well, did it? Lead the chip returns to Roger. 4-3. What's Mr. Agassi headed down here? He's coming down for the final weekend, right?
He is in New Zealand doing a couple of speeches for his book, and then he arrives Friday.
Cool.
And I believe that our
Friday is when Murray gets the winner of this match in the semifinals.
And I believe that our Darren Cahill's got us, got a little bit of pull, and he's got us invited to a lunch where Andre is being honored or speaking on Saturday, Killer.
I actually don't think it has anything to do with Andre, but we are having lunch with him.
30 left.
We can make it about Andre if you want.
He wouldn't mind.
No, it's the president's lunch on Saturday.
They asked me, do I have a suit and a tie? I was like, ooh.
I'll get lend you a tie. Joe rediscovered some of that first serve rhythm. He lost it for a few games at the beginning of the set, had come through it. Now he's got 11 aces.
And the power, is coming up, actually, instead of coming down.
Federer like a hold in about 60 seconds.
For Gonzalez.
That was just lights out quickness.
You're right about the tempo of this match, the shortness of the points, closing in on 2 hours, 4-all in the third.
I mean, the pace, both guys are not taking a lot of time, and I just don't think this is going to come down to fitness. Well, we know Roger can play forever. You're not sure about Tsonga, but I don't think that's going to be any part of the equation.
15 love.
If it does come down to fitness, this is what Tsonga has worked for in the offseason. This is why he's lost the weight, why Roger Rashid has pushed him to be ready for opponents like this in long matches at majors.
And I've seen him in the hallway a couple times. He's cut. He's put in the hard yards.
This extra belief in his fitness is the reason why you're not seeing the peaks and troughs in his game as well, because it looks like anyway he's got that belief that he can go the distance. He's not trying to cut corners in any of these points. Yeah, he's got to get rid of that shot.
You don't like the one-handed pass there?
I'm not a big fan of that. Not much chance of winning that point anyway, but maybe just throw up a big topspin lob or
That's
a high
the
defensive lob.
first time, Darren, that we've seen that, and that shot was a staple of his the last 18 months. I hate that shot. He had time to hit a two-hander there, I thought.
More and more Federer coming forward, and he's had excellent success now in this set, Brad. 9 for 9 when he takes the net.
And that's a great stat and a bad stat, because, you know, we think there's more opportunity for him to come forward.
Bad stat because you think he should be up even more.
Yeah, because I think he's had more opportunities to do it, especially on some second serve returns.
Are we sprinting toward another tiebreak?
Federer leads 5 games to 4.
Just like the first set, Tsonga got down an early break, 2-love. But Federer a little shaky when he had the lead. Tsonga got the break back. Now serving at 4-5.
Got check time.
15 love.
Good start. Crucial for him that he did get that first serve back. I talked about the percentages for Joe over the years and the head-to-head against Roger not being very good.
Well, we're getting to the nitty-gritty of this set. I think we're time for a little quick cast on who's going to win this match.
Ask the people.
And let's ask the people.
No, as you might expect, Federer's history influencing them heavily.
Only 21% for Joe.
Five all. Another lightning fast.
I mean, there's been more mishits tonight, and I don't know if that has to do with the pace or the pressure of this match, but we've seen Roger wrap it around the frame a little bit where we didn't see him do this all tournament.
And Brad, even though it's pretty cool down here as well, I still feel like the conditions are fast. The ball's still getting through the court.
Excellent slice up the line by Tsonga there, very deep.
Darren, do you feel like these faster conditions are helping Tsonga?
Well, I just think in general they are quicker conditions than what they had here last year. So if you hit a good flat ball or a good slice like Joe did just then, you do get rewarded for it. It's keeping the points shorter.
Oh, wow. A badly mishit forehand, not even close.
I'm thinking from here, like, you know, he's going to his backhand there all day, and he saw him move a little bit at the last minute, looked up, and I think that ball took a little bit of a bad bounce as well, because he saw Tsonga moving.
Roger was lunging at that, wasn't he?
Big opportunity on a second serve return.
That was LA from Federer's end as he threads that backhand right on the line.
Well, we've been hearing "come on" all tournament, but he goes the French. Allez. Interesting, because you're playing a French opponent.
Yeah, that's one of his languages.
It's like his third or fourth. I still feel like this. And I know Coach Paul Ancona is thinking the same. After you see a guy in regulation position not even go to his two-hander, try to hit a one-hand chip pass, that's a bit of a panic shot for me. Go back there, find that shot under pressure. Because I actually felt like at that 5:30, that wasn't even a very good approach. Roger would tell you that he got away with a little smoke and mirrors.
Fist bump from Federer. Settles himself. Tsonga will try to force a tiebreak.
Federer leads 6 games to
Welcome back to the Australian Open 2013, presented by Franklin Templeton Investments.
All right, big moment in this match. Tsonga, again, battling from behind the set, tries to force a tiebreak.
Oh, that's a hard shot. That was near the line. No pace on the ball, floating. And he creates a little bit of space, and what a shot. Finds the line.
Oh, what a job on that return. He was completely jammed. Found a way to fight it off.
That is unbelievable. Where's Todd Woodbridge? I mean, that's an inside-out short little... I'm not sure he cut it completely flush, but that's unbelievable. He did catch it flusher than I thought.
If you're wondering where Todd Woodbridge came from, Brad and myself lost to the Woodies today in a Legends doubles match, so we saw that backhand return a number of times.
I was wondering where the Woodbridge reference.
No, but he did have a great short inside out in the box. You rarely see that shot.
Okay.
And he had maybe the best one ever. Perfect opportunity maybe for Fed to sneak in here.
It's long. We just don't see
Federer is out in the goal on the left baseline.
Missed those very often.
Ball's got out.
See, that was a brilliant
He's in good
return.
form anyway.
That was a brilliant return. If he comes forward, I think he's getting a good look at an easy volley.
What's causing all the forehand misses tonight from Roger?
40-30.
Is it just
Federer
purely
has
the
2
pace and the
challenges.
pressure of Tsonga's game?
And also the tension of being in this tight match.
Tsonga, including that opening set tiebreak, Brad. We talked about the streak, 8 in a row that he's lost.
6 games off, third set.
And he's faced a top 10 player.
Both players receive
What would
one
you
additional challenge.
advise and what do you look for him to do in this tiebreak to change that trend?
Well, if you're Tsonga, keep playing bold and keep getting in on the Federer backhand. Keep striking there. Controlled aggression and get in on his backhand. See, he did that in the first set tiebreaker. Avoid from taking those swings, you know, I call like the 1 in 10 swings off a good first server. You're trying to hit a winner.
Also, for a 2-hour match that's been very high quality, the crowd has been relatively quiet until the last 10 or 15 minutes. The crowd is just starting to get into this.
For a 7-6, 4-6, 6-all to be at 2 hours and 9 minutes, that's lightning for how many games we've played.
Federer, as he did in the first set tiebreak, came right at Joe.
2-1.
Made him
Federer.
play a volley under pressure.
It's funny, he can hit some of the greatest volleys, and then right there he kind of snatched at it and just...
It's the kind of miss that got him in trouble, Brad, to go down a mini break early.
He made him
in the
play.
first set.
And he didn't do enough with that approach from the shot that he got.
Federer charging forward made a mess of it.
I think he thought it was going to be higher and deeper in the court, and this should have been a regulation volley, or he should have stopped and played that on a forehand. Because you don't play a swinging volley, you know, 6 feet inside the service lot.
Even the greats, the decision-making pressure of a tiebreak, you can make a mistake.
And he goes right back to work.
3-2, Federer.
Tsonga's got his cheering section up behind his box. Guys with his name spelled out on shirts. Or are they Murray fans? Because Andy has the same thing too. Are they snuck in here and become Tsonga fans for this quarterfinal?
Yeah, there's some of these Aussies that switch, you know, whoever the player is, but it's certainly not 90-10 crowd. I thought it would be a massive Fed crowd tonight.
Oh, that little chip return made it a tough shot for Tsonga. The mini break back.
That is a chipper D extraordinaire.
4-3, Federer.
You just know he's going to use it in the tiebreak. He did in the very first point of the first set tiebreak.
That's almost an impossible shot to get 2 hands underneath. He forces a chip, and then he's there for the forehand pass.
It's hard to believe that Federer would twice in a tiebreak let a mini break lead slip away.
5-3 Federer.
And I'll just point this to his sense of calmness. The guy could be holding 2-7 offsuit or aces, and you don't know what he's thinking.
Big return.
Love it.
And twice in the breaker, Tsonga has battled back from a mini break down to get back on serve.
That's the first time that he's taken aggressive backhand return this whole match. Finds the Federer backhand.
Federer sends the ball on the left serve. The ball is going to
Worth the challenge.
I think he's just buying a little time here. I think it might have been.
Yeah.
second serve.
Wow.
Wasn't even close. I've just been doing that challenge and then walking over.
Yeah, it's
like the call's wrong. Yep. Big roar from Federer. Another chip return, but Tsonga ran around, left the court open.
He didn't do enough when he ran around. He left the court open.
I just
6-4.
pointed to his head, said, think. 2 set points for Federer for a 2-1 lead. Lift it. Pressure, decision making in a tiebreak. Once again, decides it. How much fight does Tsonga have left? This is a test. Pair of tie breaks won by Federer, sandwiched around a great set by Tsonga. Very quick pit stop for Roger. He's out back and ready for the fourth, and Tsonga will serve to begin it.
Hey, let's have a little conversation with the umpire.
I'm sorry? Yeah. One time on the match, you get some extra time, so do that. Yeah.
Going over the rules of the pit stop, as you like to call it. One time in a match, you're allowed to take a little extra time.
Yeah, well, Joe's changed his shoe. If you could have got a little better shot of the outside of his shoe, he actually burned a little hole on the side of the upper part of the shoe. And if you don't change your shoe there, that's how you get like a little burn blister will burn through your sock. It's actually not on the sole, it's on the side, on the meshing there.
Also, Brad, I find it really unusual that Joe doesn't wear 2 pairs of socks. Most players do, and Joe, especially for the way he moves, only wears 1 pair of socks.
Well, Killer, out of somebody that did it their whole career, I played 1 sock, and I did the exact same thing. I always had to bring a couple extra pairs of shoes because you burn through on the side, and if you don't change there, that's problems. And also, too, if you're a 1 sock wearer, you need to change it.
There's now a whole new category. You're a 1 sock wearer, a 2 sock wearer.
Absolutely. If you wear 2, you're less likely to need.
Just like 1-handed backhand, 2-handed backhand. Now you got a whole category for me.
John Wooden, sock expert.
Among other things.
So he taught his players how to put socks on.
He taught them other things. All right, I want to see from Tsonga the same thing you saw in the second set. No dip, positive. This is a real test of that new positive attitude.
Re-establish, re-up. It's a game by game. It's, you know, it's not a best of 5 anymore. It's keep your nose in front, get a hold, and just reestablish your game. Keep it simple.
Shows that straight ahead speed.
I tell you, he's probably a 4-4 guy, no problem. I mean, his quick burst of speed, similar to Murray's, where just gets it down and then just darts to it. And I like how he keeps the racket in front when he's moving, not behind him. Makes it easier for the scoop shot. Big mistake club players do. Run and they take their racket back trying to get a short ball.
Tsonga.
So Tsonga holds it low to open the 4th.
This is the shot that there was a clutch times, the improving backhand. This was at 5-all, love 30, and look at him pull the trigger. That's when he went to the French LA. And look here in the breaker, when he has the opportunity at 5-4, that set up the set point, and once again, the backhand, I think, is the shot that has improved more than any, and that's what's keeping him where he is, and maybe moving higher. Who knows?
Federer cannot reclaim #1 at this event. He would have needed Djokovic to lose the verdict last night. Novak, by making the semis, has established he'll keep his #1 ranking out of Melbourne.
Yeah, the only way Roger's going to get back to 1, you know, I don't think that's the biggest emphasis, because he plays less tournaments. He's taking some of the Masters shares off. He's got to win at least 2 majors to get to 1.
Roger said this year it's going to be more about extended training blocks. The challenge from Tsonga on the call of out. So less tournaments, not playing Miami, for example, which is a Masters 1000 event that he typically plays. That's a good challenge by Tsonga from the other end.
Excellent. Well, you know who was one of the most successful players, you know, in recent memory in their 30s was Andre, and he was all about training blocks, more time training, less time on the court.
That's second serve.
Jeez, that was peppered.
And Brad, just to clarify about Federer having to win 2 majors, you mean 1 more because he has Wimbledon on the computer already. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, he has to have 2 wins on the board to get to 1.
That's just your approximation of the point
Yeah,
total.
because he doesn't.
I mean, without knowing what Djokovic is going to do.
Yeah.
To give himself a chance.
Yeah. We talked about it last night there, and with Rafael Nadal slipping to 5 behind Federer when the new rankings come out Monday, and Rafa's going to make his return in some small clay events in February. What about the French Open draw? If they don't reseed, if they go straight by seeds, Nadal is a 5 seed, going to land in a quarter with one of these guys?
I'm going to even go and spot your coach and say not so fast. He has nothing but wins coming off on every clay. So if he happens to falter, I mean, he could be 8, 9, 12. Who knows if he doesn't do well? Yeah, I think it would be ridiculous if they don't seed him higher.
So you think regardless of what he does, because you can't really gain a lot of points in Viña del Mar and Acapulco's, tournaments like that, he's got to go back and do what he does in Monte Carlo and Rome and so on.
Well, he doesn't have a 12,000 stash of points like he does. I mean, but he has wins coming off at everyone, you know, Monte Carlo and Rome and Barcelona.
Darren, can you imagine the French Open draw if Nadal is just floating around? You know, which quarter is he going to end up with?
No, I think they have to give him a top 4 seeding if he's outside the top 4.
We're going to say, excuse me, Mr. Ferrer, you've done good work, but you're not going to be seated fourth?
I
gotta
think
be
Mr.
honest.
Ferrer would accept that, knowing him.
Darren, correct me if I'm wrong. I have never seen the French Open ever change the seeds. Pete was seeded one every time. You know, they go straight by the rankings. I've never seen them make any change to the seedings. Never.
There's a reason for that. It's a clay court tournament. Clay court players used to go crazy when Wimbledon would change the rankings. Here's an opening for Federer, by the way. Danger time for Tsonga.
This little not enough on that forehand cross, opens the court, and then a delayed come in. It's very difficult to come in cross court on a delayed approach. Trouble right now.
Love 40.
Once again, he's gone right at Tsonga. When he's at the net, make him make a pressure volley and try to jam him.
That's scouting because Tsonga's a more athletic volleyer. He volleys better on the stretch, but a lot of the misses have all come right in the middle where his technique breaks down.
They've been on the backhand side, too. Those jamming volleys, and this is a real problem now. Tsonga chose not to go right at Roger that time.
Yeah, a couple of times at that point looked like Tsonga, you know, slipped and struggling with his footwork a little bit, kind of like how, remember Djokovic in the same sneakers struggled, and he changed.
That was in the Wawrinka match.
Yeah.
Changing the shoes, he wasn't slipping at all.
Nice play. I still feel like Roger's backhand is way better when he's driving it and it's on his terms. When he's pressured to hit backhand passes, that's, you know, that's a position where, you know, of strength.
2 break points saved. Here's a third.
Deuce.
Well. Tsonga in deep trouble a few seconds ago has responded.
Advantage Federer.
Love 40 goes by Roger. He just puts it behind him and goes right back to work.
How many times do you see a server get from love 40 to deuce, and when they have to face that 4th break point, it gets really tough. He just tried to hit the cover off the ball. Thumped it.
I mean, the MPHs on that got to have been close to 100. He's off the ground and on a no-pace ball. So hard to create that pace.
Federer challenging the call on the right baseline. The ball was Scott's.
Continuing his trend when he challenges, he goes to the other court. Yeah, every time we've seen him challenge this event, he's gone over like, yeah, I didn't win that challenge. And usually he does.
And he's been winning them. It's like, so he's got to stay with that.
That is sturdy from Tsonga. 4 break points saved in the game to stay in front in the 4th.
Tsonga leads 2-1.
I'm guessing you've heard by now, but Sloane Stephens announced her arrival on the Grand Slam stage, beating a banged-up Serena Williams. Not just the ankle problem. She talked about a back problem. In fact, she said it was her worst ever 2 weeks at a major. But nevertheless, Stevens, a pressure performance to earn a spot against Azarenka in the semis.
You know, I call her Sloan Ranger. And on one of the little publications I saw already, you know what they called her today? They said Sloan Stranger no more.
Ah. A double pun.
I was like, that was the headline.
Got to come back tomorrow in the heat, as you said, to take on Azarenka, the defending champion. Now, mere mortals have trouble holding after they fail to convert 4 breakpoint chances.
Well, you know, I tell you every time, and Killer's with me, we get broken 100%. When you have love 40, and it's such a mental game. You know you're getting broken. You just accept it. And then if you hold, it's like, whew.
Federer made to pay for a soft second.
15-30.
Now, Roger's been shaking his head a couple of times now on those second serves. Too short, right in the slot on the forehand side. Can't get away with that too often.
Not very often. You just take Roger's second serve and just thrash it. Now can he be bold and do it again?
This will be a much heavier second serve.
Tsonga feeling it again. Pure aggression in that point.
That was amazing defending of Roger just to get this backhand back. He toughed out. That was behind him. That was 5 great shots from Tsonga. Well rewarded.
Now it's Joe with the chance for a break.
That's 2 really good second serves, and I know Joe made a good return at 15-30, but another good second serve down the middle there, and I don't think you'll see him risking going to the forehand if he has to serve another second serve on break point.
Well, he's missed 3 first serves in a row. If you're Tsonga, you guard on this wide one, Darren.
I think this way he can go either way. I cover the wide serve on the juice court on the big points.
I know it's a long time ago when I was coaching Roddick. I told him, when you're playing Roger, do not let him beat you with that wide serve in both courts. I mean, that's the cornerstone of his game, the V serving.
Advantage, Federer.
But he can pretty much hit all the spots. That's the problem.
Yeah, but you know, when a guy can, you need to take something away, establish that, okay, that one I know is your best. I know you can hit all the spots, but don't beat me with that one.
That's long. 15-40. Then 4 straight from Federer.
Tsonga Shunjin call on the right baseline. The ball was cut out.
Not even close.
That was clutch holding. I tell you, one kind of theme that we've seen throughout this tournament for Roger is low break point percentage.
2 games on.
Well, against Tomic, even though he won in straight sets, he was disappointed in that one category. 3 for 16. It's 2 for 9 here, and 0 for 4, of course, in that last game.
You know, getting a lot of chances and not converting, that's cost him in some of these major losses.
Sure. That tends to cost anybody.
Absolutely. Sometimes, Darren, I just don't understand Joe's shot selection. He had plenty of time to play two-handed backhand there. Why does he go to a one-hand slice on that?
Yeah, that's definitely a two-handed backhand cross-court to the open court. Just a bad choice, but by and large, he's been pretty good. Just feel like this set has kicked up a gear as well to level.
You know, we've seen in recent rounds these matches where belief or lack of it becomes a major component. I mean, Wawrinka brought out so much belief, conviction against Djokovic. He didn't win, but he didn't shy away. Almagro against Ferrer, there was the question of belief. Berdych last night against Novak, the question of belief. And I think Tsonga has it. I think if he loses, this is not going to be because he doesn't believe. He's beaten Roger some big occasions.
I'm going to say that Wawrinka set the table and the tone for underdogs to believe. He didn't get it done, but they see it's possible.
Yes, indeed, Darren has kicked up the level in this set. What a rally. Tsonga inches back in front.
Tsonga leads 3 games to 2.
There's a lot for the crowd to be engaged. And Darren's assessment that it was kind of a not a rocking crowd. Maybe this is the least raucous of the 4 Grand Slams. The Wimbledon, they do get into it there.
I feel like, you know, it's been a little bit of a sleeping giant tonight, you know, because normally you would expect this to totally engaged. Yeah, they are.
Maybe they're a little tight.
Maybe it took a couple of, you know, sets for the pints to kick in.
15 love.
Well, I think it's a pro Federer crowd, although they do like Tsonga here, but they know he's in a real battle.
See, I feel like that's a part of the game. I talk about the backhand 5 years ago, all day long. That's a forehand. But now he trusts his backhand so much more.
The dropper.
It's amazing how he picks those balls up from the baseline. A little slide.
Net first serve. Net first serve.
That is such a tough shot, Chris, that he makes look easy. That low ball on the ankles that he transitions and comes forward. I thought that first ball was wide.
Deuce.
We did check it. It was in by 3 millimeters. So
Advantage
Roger was
Federer.
right to play it and not to stop.
He did do a little look back at the linesman, try to get a little look call.
You saying Roger tries to influence the lines people?
Subtly. It's okay.
Well, they do have a challenge system. There used to be a lot of that back before the technology came in. Roped forehand right in the corner again.
He's a shot maker.
This has been a really physical 2 hours and 40 minutes from both players. Just the last 10 or 15 minutes, just notice the edge slightly coming off both players as far as the movement is concerned. And that's why you're seeing a few more winners hit as well. More quarters opening up.
Tsonga just slugging away now.
That's great offense.
Advantage Tsonga.
Maybe he doesn't want to play defense, as Darren suggests. He is just thumping every chance.
And I tell you, he sidestepped there to create a little space to hit that forehand.
Chance for a 4-2 lead. Federer stepped around just a little bit, and the forehand flew on him. And it's Tsonga now in control of the set.
4 times he's broken Mr. Federer tonight.
I tell you what also, guys, at the last change of ends, Roger Rasche, Joe's coach, stood up and was smiling at Joe, pumping his fist, clapping, trying to get the kid pumped up. And he's responded in a big way.
So he did that on the changeover to start
change
this
of
game.
ends at 3-2.
It's a
Continuing to talk to him.
That's a voice, Darren, that we talked about. Joe was without for more than a year, about 18 months maybe was he coachless. The Aussie, what would it mean for Rashid to get Tsonga over this hurdle against Federer into the semis?
I think he's thinking about getting into the 5th set here.
You mentioned that is the 4th break of the Federer serve. You targeted that. He's going to have to break 5.
Yeah,
I hate to
4 is
break
not
it to
going to be
you.
enough.
No, it won't be. Taxing first point.
Roger was ever so calm after getting broken. He just walked over, grabbed a new racket out of the bag.
Love the lead.
I think that one there, Chris, he saw Roger in the corner of his eye, stayed at home on the backhand corner, and then went inside in. Now an opportunity.
$15-30.
Let's take a look at the shot spot here on the 9 break points. Look where Tsonga served. 7 of them have come on the ad side, but the wide one there, and he's hit 3 dots, you know, wide of the backhand, 0 body serves.
That was
deep.
And Beckett
30-40
skidded off the line.
Darren, if you're Roger here, which one do you protect?
I protect the wide one.
Federer fights back. Tsonga a little shaky when he got the lead.
Tom.
Every little dip after the brilliance of Tsonga has cost him tonight. Federer able to get back on serve now.
And 3 unforced errors. He hit some brilliant shots, but that was where he needed some meat and potatoes. Just a solid
So you
game.
like the aggression to get the break, then you sort of have to, you feel, be more controlled in the next game?
Yeah, he forced a couple of shots. You know, it's easier to force shots when you got lead. You know, that big miss came with love 15, you know, on that first ball forehand where he had court and just overcooked it.
Sprints over for a new racket. Again, just whenever he's feeling it.
Yeah, he changes out of nowhere. In the middle of game.
Yeah.
And Darren, when he ran over and changed that racket there, he didn't pull it out of play. Is that one he'd already even played with?
I would just be guessing, Brad, but we've got a close-up of the string pattern there, and you can see it's a hybrid with gut in the mains and Luxilon in the crosses. That's a change he's made in the last 12 months.
Oh, that's good play.
Federer flicked it back across behind Tsonga with the pass.
And also, Darren, because you're the string and racket expert, is that a new logo on the racket?
You're all over it tonight, BG.
Because that doesn't look like a Babolat stencil.
It's the new Babolat logo.
Okay, see, I knew it was a new one. Something had changed.
Got that sorted out? Okay.
This is where, if you're Roger, it's like, God, the guy's just littering. It's winner, it's error. You know, the streaks are both ways now are rampant.
Federer's volley clipped the tape. Tsonga was all over it.
That's the best backhand pass he's hit of the night. He hit it with absolute no doubt.
Did not see this coming. Roger Rashid, the other Roger in this court, sent us an opportunity. Disgusted Federer flicks the ball away, and Tsonga will now serve to force a final set.
You got to get up. That is an impressive re-break back from Joe Willie Tsonga. Found his opportunity, and this time on the backhand volley that's right at him, he makes it.
You don't feel like Roger did a lot wrong in that game. It was just Tsonga taking it from him.
That was, to me, Tsonga just took his shot on every swing. This is now where he needs to be solid and take care of business. You know what else I'd love to see from Tsonga? If you can get this game, sprint to your chair. do the old sprint out.
That's an example of what you don't want to see.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the way he's been playing now this set, where he's going for it. This
They're falling away.
That's a low percentage.
No hesitation in that backhand.
That's a page right out of what we saw from Almagro and Stan Wawrinka. Just absolutely ripping the one-handed backhand.
That wasn't easy. Federer's approach was mishit. Tsonga handled it well.
That was a mishit approach and a mishit pass. That was not clean.
30 on.
That was up near the top of the frame. On a huge point, Tsonga was a little crafty there. 40-30. He has refused to get down, and Federer has pulled in front in this match. Tremendous positive attitude from the Frenchman. Now set point to force a final set. Maybe another one of those Rod Laver Arena nighttime classics at the Australian Open. The fifth set coming up. Federer changing that little singlet, as Brad calls it. He wears for warmth. Get a dry one. New shirt for the final set. Boy, Tsonga, some great tennis, Brad. I mean, he's really been the better player through 4 sets. Federer's been able to win a pair of tie breaks.
And he's responded after losing 2 breakers 2 different times in this match. And I tell you, Tsonga played bold tennis. And I think he surprised Roger, because after losing those breakers, you expected a dip, and there was no dip. And this was an unbelievable running forehand pass to set up the break point, which he converted. And this was a clutch shot to break, where he had missed that same volley 5 times tonight. And look at the slam down ace.
And the one area in his career when Roger doesn't really have a sparkling stat is what?
5-set career matches. I'm going to say it's barely 500.
It's 20-16. He's won obviously some very, very memorable 5-set matches to win Grand Slam titles. He's lost a few too.
It's one of the most unusual stats, because a lot of the greats of all time pretty heady in that 5th set, career record.
15 love.
That's why I say it's startling when he doesn't have a great number to show. Tsonga 8-4 in 5-setters. He won the only 5-setter head-to-head against Roger. Of course, it was that Wimbledon match we talked about when he came from 2 sets down in 2011.
I mean, based upon how Joe was playing, I mean, this is a hard set to call, because he's the one actually making the dent in a lot of the points. You know,
so much of it'll be about serving and who doesn't have to work as hard in rallies in their service games.
You think if we do the court cast, it'll be 79-21 to start this fifth?
Roger has a lot of believers. And a hold it love to start the final set.
And Darren, we're up high. Are those birds like really making a lot of noise? I mean,
First game, final set.
Yeah, they are, but it's not too bad. You're well used to it if you play here in Rod Laver Arena.
Well, Tsonga has a few more believers. It's up to 37%.
And I know you've done the stats on it about. I still feel like for a guy like Roger, you know, serving that first game in the fifth, I still feel like is an advantage. I know the stats don't bear it out, but that's the one time where I want to always be serving first. Andre used to say he always liked to return first, except for the fifth set.
Yeah, Darren told me that they've done a historic study and there is no statistical benefit to serving first in the final set.
Chris, I know you've spoken about the popularity of Roger Federer here in Australia, but I have to be honest, this is split 50-50 down the middle with the support. I'm sure the crowd got behind Tsonga in that last set to push a fifth set.
What about the fifth set? Are they going to be 50-50 in this one?
Fairly even, I have to admit.
And we'll see in the final set who they'd rather see in the semis. We think we know who Andy Murray would rather see.
Absolutely. But I felt this crowd has been very partisan tonight.
Hey, Darren, did you hear Andy Murray's on-court interview after he beat Shardy today?
I did not.
He made a joke, which the crowd laughed about. He said, I'm going to go back, may watch part of it. I have to do my stuff. I just hope that Roger and Joe play about 4 hours or more.
He might get his wish.
He might. We're at the 3-hour mark exactly right now.
And Darren, physically, how do you feel that Joe is after the 3 hours?
He looks good. I think all the work that he's put in the last 3 months has set him up for a moment like this. And we know Federer can run through a 5-set match, no problem. So I think physically, as I mentioned, maybe the edge slightly coming off the movement of both players to be expected, but both still look really good.
One of the features of this event is that it comes off the offseason, and so many players talk about how tough it is, how much they hate their coach or their physical trainer, what they put him through in the offseason. They know it's necessary, but it's no fun when you're going through it. But now they're glad that they did all that running, all those exercises, all the time in the gym, so they can hopefully trust their bodies. We know Roger can.
Yeah, and also, Chris, Joe has a habit and a history of cutting corners in 5-set matches to manage his body, but he hasn't cut any corners today.
Good time for that. 17 aces now for Tsonga.
Not very often that you're going to see Roger Federer almost 3-to-1 aced.
You're right. Doesn't matter how good the other server is.
It does not matter. I've hardly ever seen that.
It's exactly 3-to-1 now, 18-6. He has a way of turning it around on the big servers. Roddick and others over the years.
18 is a high number against Roger, but 6 for Roger is a very low number.
3 or 4 sets, you're right. Again, we're moving our coverage over to ESPN, beginning with the semifinal with Djokovic and Federer Thursday, 3:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Same time on Friday, Murray against the winner here on ESPN, and both finals shifting from the regular home of tennis on ESPN2 over to ESPN. So take note, and we'll see you then. For the match, Brad, 61% for Federer. That's below what he's been serving, but obviously a much more stressful match. 3 doubles and 6 aces. What's the explanation for such a low total?
I mean, I'm shocked by that number because he's hit a lot of good serves, but full credit to Tsonga for getting his racket on a lot of balls. He looks like he has a lot more core strength and stability when he's returning, and he's not reaching and guessing on so many returns like he did before. You know, maybe Roger might say he's not exactly hitting his, you know, his ideal spots on his serve tonight.
Federer holds that low for Federer in the 5th set.
Federer leads 2-1.
Joe Tsonga, 2013, leaner, fitter, and he believes ready for this challenge of taking out Roger Federer for a spot in the semifinals. 1-2 in the 5th. It's one of his slowest first serves.
You know, I've seen Tsonga a couple of times out hotel in the gym, and he's just constantly in there riding the bike. So this is one of those matches tonight.
When players ride the bike in a tournament, is there any resistance on it? It always seems that they're kind of freewheeling.
No, I've seen him in there.
Okay.
Good sweat. Absolutely.
Yeah, a couple of misfires, and Tsonga's in a hole now, left 30.
And that 2 points right there, Darren, he looked like he was kind of reaching and snatching a little bit.
Exactly, Brad. Both of those shots.
Rashid, you could see this is the time for a coach to give him encouragement. He's very close to where Tsonga's standing.
This is actually where, you know, you want Joe to slow down a little bit, attack the Federer backhand. That's exactly what he did. Don't rush.
Tsonga challenging the call on the left baseline. The ball is cut out.
Darren, I'm not sure why, but the MPHs on Tsonga's serve have come way down out of nowhere.
And now it's time to crank it up. 2 great points for Federer to grab a lead of 3-1 in this last set. That's a good spot, Brad. Those were not big first serves, and the very first serve of the game had nothing on it, and Federer pounces.
I mean, he didn't break 115 that game. That was very unusual.
Who knows whether it's tension or something physical. Another positive start to a set for Federer. He's had leads before that Tsonga's pulled back.
15
Well, this is a case of Tsonga's been the more explosive player, but Roger stays the course. He just weathers the storm.
Even without the A game, finding a way to get up a break in the 5th set.
Right, he's weathering the storm with his B game, no doubt. It's a little bit what, Djokovic did the other night against Wawrinka. Weather the storm against a guy playing hot when you're not. That's an exceptional effort to be able to do that.
Mirka wasn't sure he should have played that ball. It might have been out. She was grimacing. No need to worry. As the next player, I mean, obviously she knows the game really well.
Well, the standard has been really high, BG. I'm not sure that it's his B game tonight. I feel like the tennis has been exceptional for both guys. If anything, Joe's forced Roger into error at times by his sheer power and force.
No, it's fair, Darren. The opponent has a lot to do with it, but the serving has not been there, and
not quite.
And the forehands have been flying a little bit more. Maybe that's harsh grading. A minus?
Oh, yeah, B plus, A minus. But part of it has to do for the way that Joe has been playing so explosive.
But not in this 5th set.
No.
So far.
I'm just not sure why that serve speed came down so much that invited that break.
Serving volley from Federer.
40-30.
We'll have to keep an eye on Tsonga. I mean, he's going to be in a big hole in the 5th unless he can turn this game around. Whether there was a physical reason, a retention, why all of a sudden he wasn't thumping the serve.
Boy, we could count a number on our hand how many times Roger served volleyed.
A frustrated Tsonga watches Federer extend the lead to 4-1, closing out on another Grand Slam semifinal.
Federer leads 4-1.
Australian Open 2013 is presented by Franklin Templeton Investments. Gain from our perspective.
All the good work that Joe Tsonga did in 4 sets, getting Federer 2 sets all, but there was a dip. It's been a sloppy set for Joe. 9 errors already. Federer has cleaned it up. Hasn't really had to be all that spectacular in this set.
You know, he's been solid. And the little dip that Joe had, Roger took advantage of. And I don't know if it was physical, you know, where he just hit the wall there for a second. Roger is so steady, and he's able to sustain his physical level for a long period of time. He doesn't have those dips.
Joe spent that entire change of ends just chatting to himself as well, giving himself a little pep talk, I'm sure, try to get himself up for this service game.
He does that a lot there. He'll scold himself. He'll commend himself. He has a good rapport with himself.
Oh, there's no doubt that he lets us know what Joe's doing. Let's see what the serve speed says here.
He went after it again. That was 127.
Yeah,
that's more like it.
That's much better. Love that play.
Love it.
He's done that very few times tonight, but I think every time he's done it, he's won the point. I think he's done it 3 times.
Return and come in?
Yeah.
No.
No.
He's not thinking clearly out there.
No.
Love the lead.
That first serve didn't have a lot on it that he missed, and that was not a good second serve. And this is not clear thinking. A one-handed pass.
Federer changing the call.
Challenge that. He has 3.
But do you think you should be able to challenge that after you've missed the return?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
And it was on the line, so call stands.
15-30.
An apology from Federer. Tsonga ends up all the way down in front of his camp.
And Chris, the big difference, that serve was about 121, which he flexed back easily.
Little moment there between the players.
Yep.
That was great.
Joe acted like he was going to whack a ball at Roger for this little piece of luck at big time. Well, he can smile there. Great attitude on the court, but big trouble if he can't save these 2 break points. That was to serve for it, not a double break. Still has an opportunity.
Kind of got away with a change up there.
Strong from Tsonga. 3 straight points. This is his last stand.
You know, he's lost the MPHs a bit on the serve, but not on the ground strokes. That was hit.
So Tsonga survives that test. Has to find a way to break Federer twice more. Who's going to win this match?
That's a quality hold from 540. Look at that little somersault that he did on that retrieving.
The spin?
Yeah.
Oh.
That was a full 360. Not what you teach on the recovery. It's funny, it's about this match looked like it was 3 minutes from over. Now this game could be complicated based on those break points that he just had.
How about the miss on the swinging volley?
Yes.
Break point. Has he played a drop shot all night?
I don't think so, but it was actually a great little drop shot. But that is just great road work, and what a shot.
3 hours and 19 minutes into the match. Deep in the 5th set.
30-15.
That's where he reaches sometimes on the footwork, where he didn't really take those small steps. He just took one lunging step and just tried to flex it.
He got the floating return and pounced.
40-15.
Federer bending low, and that little flick gives him a 5-2 lead. You know, Brad, earlier today, the tennis world shaken up by Sloane Stephens' upset of Serena Williams. You know how old she is? 19 years, 10 months.
19 years
against a player north of their 30th birthday.
Yes, Serena's 30, the same age as Roger Federer. They're about 2 months apart.
Right, but in 2001 Wimbledon, Roger Federer playing the player that he idolized growing up, like Sloane, 19 years, 10 months, takes out Pete Sampras and shows a lot more emotion then than Sloane did today, that's for sure. But you can see that win over the guy that he idolized, and the world began to really take notice of this guy.
Yeah, it was a real, I'm not sure she was shocked or a sense of calmness, or realized that, you know what, I still got more work to do in this tournament. So
Sloane?
I actually kind of liked what I saw from Sloane today.
Did you hear what Sloane said? She said, dude, you can do this, to herself.
Yeah, she called herself dude in the morning. She was down 6-3, 2-0. What a comeback.
And so the parallel there on this court. And now the wise old Mr. Federer. Game away from another semifinal, a date with Andy Murray. Those two perhaps ready to collide in another big match in a big stage. And Joe will change his racket now, trying to stay alive, still down to break.
You saw he was looking at the inside of the label to see what the tension was in the racket. See, he's an out-of-nowhere switch of the stick. That first serve, Chris, was about 103 miles an hour.
I look to you guys for explanations. All of a sudden,
I
the
don't
speed
know.
came way off.
I don't see anything physical other than maybe he got tired. But then he can reach back. That was 124. But I'll just bring up, you know, maybe the weight loss. That, you know, maybe some increased strength that he did lose. He got fitter and leaner.
It didn't take much. There was that one game where from the very first serve, it was an off-speed delivery. Wasn't winning free points on the serve. Federer pounced. And now it's 2 points from the semifinals.
Federer challenging the ball on the left serve. The ball is caught in. Federer
match
has
point
one
save.
challenge. Please. Deuce. Advantage, Federer.
Tsonga left muttering to himself on the far end, facing a third match point.
What a stick save and a gem.
Terrific fight by Tsonga. 3 match points saved. Look at that stretch.
I thought he had him with the little flip, but that was a thing of beauty, athleticism.
I think Roger maybe thought he had him too.
Four of 17 tonight for Roger on break points.
The legs feel a little heavy now.
Yeah, they're a little weary. He's giving the full gamut, the high and low in this game.
But you have to love his fight.
Advantage, Tsonga.
And then out of nowhere, he pulls back out the 131.
Been a big shot for him tonight.
That backhand down the line, and that one he hit with a little bit of shape. That wasn't hit flat. This has a top spin on it. And if the legs are burning, that's a tough one to track down.
Advantage, Federer.
Does Tsonga have another match point save in him? This is Federer's 4th.
Tsonga.
Tsonga alive for now, winning the longest game of this 5-set match and forcing Federer to serve for it after failing on 4 match points.
Gutsy
Full
effort.
credit, huh?
And now the Tsonga chants that we heard so often 5 years ago in this arena with the rhythmic clapping. He's got a bounce back in his step.
Never easy to serve after having 4 match points, couple of opportunities, and now a rush of blood energy from Tsonga. He's hitting his shots big. He seems to have his second life here.
Crowd may have made a slow start in the first 2 sets, but they've certainly made up for it in the last 3. Federer completely wrapped that forehand around his frame.
But how about that shoestring pickup on the backhand volley? That was from his ankles.
He's been coming to the net a lot more as the match has gone on, and very efficient in the final set up there.
So both guys want to come in on the other guy's backhand now.
Great serve.
But it's Roger's sense of calmness. No matter, even after frustration, he still comes back.
No mistake on that backhand. The 5th chance for Federer. This time on his serve.
40-30.